there's a poem by this Persian poet, Don't Go Back to Sleep. And it starts off with saying, the breeze at dawn has secrets to tell you. Don't go back to sleep. And step 10, it's about not going back to sleep. Not some like physical sleep or mystical trance, but don't fall asleep to yourself, to our patterns, to our egos, to our obsessive nature. You know, there's a line in some 12-step literature and it says that we are not saints. The point is not perfection, the point is progress. Step 10, it assumes that we're still human. We still have instincts, we still have pride, we still have parts of us that can fixate on things, that can control or justify or spiral if we're just not paying attention. The danger is not in that we are flawed. The danger is we drift without doing anything, without noticing it. See, steps 4 through 9, it woke us up. We took inventory, we told the truth about ourselves, things that we've done. We've cleaned up the wreckage, we've made amends, and that was all hard work. But step 10 is different. It's not about digging up the past, it's about staying awake in the present, today. The language is simple. Continue to take personal inventory, and when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. Continue. This is not a one-time event. This is a daily awareness. It means noticing when your tone shifts, when your motives get cloudy, when you're about to send a text that you shouldn't send, when you feel the early spark of a resentment, and instead of letting it grow in you, you address it. You correct course quickly. You know, I'm sure you've heard that if you're 1 degree off while sailing, you won't notice it right away. But over time, you'll end up miles away from the place that you meant to go. And step 10 is a daily course correction. It's humility in real time. It's honesty without delay. You know, it's refusing to let small fractures become structural cracks. And there's nothing flashy about this step. It's quiet, it's consistent, it's disciplined. But this is where long-term freedom lives, not just in awakening, in staying awake. So as we begin step 10, the question is simple. Where do you tend to drift? And are you willing to notice it sooner? Don't go back to sleep.
Alright, Dean, day 1, leaving for Montana.
Day 1, everything has a first day, and here we are. So, going over to the building to get the boys, the other 2, the other 3, and then the truck is packed, and I think it's appropriate that we're leaving today, because, you know, these 2 guys that we're going to get, they kind of are a little needy still. They like to eat all the time and have Slurpees like kids, you know, so they want too much mothering. And it's already wearing me out, so we're gonna have to have a little, I can't keep doing it like that, so they gotta toughen up and quit being wusses. And but it's appropriate that we're leaving on Mother's Day. So I'm done mothering them. Pulling up, just getting ready to go. And I see the truck's already running, and we've got somebody sitting in there, and the thing is running, and the stereo's turned up, and they're in the truck ready to go, and he's screaming, "Let's go." I think he's excited to be going to Montana. You think he's? I think. I think he's ready. So let's go. Every year I would hit my knees and I would try to describe what guys I wanted, talk to my sponsor about it, and then I would pray about it. Say, hey, bring me some people where I could really make a difference in their life this summer that would be a good example of the program and that would carry the message to others. So your will, not mine. And that first one that showed up was, I think he's 6'10", and he's, I don't know, 300 pounds. Huge guy, Brandon. Just a big teddy bear, really. When he's not on meth. When he's on meth, he'll run through your front door and steal all your So it's funny how we change. So Brandon came, he needed to get started early, and I needed a little help down in Florida, finishing up a project down there and getting everything ready to get out to Montana. So he started a little bit with Reed and I, started a little bit early working down there. And, he could use a fire get lit under his butt, and I think he's getting a little older, so his body's beat up a little bit. So sometimes he needs to get pushed a little bit. But he was great on a machine.
Today it was a long day, 11-hour ride. We drove, I think, like almost 600 miles, but it's good, man. We're in St. Louis right now. In this wonderful hotel that it's got a dog smell to it though, but other than that, it's good, man. So we're gonna rest tonight and then leave in the morning.
Oh, when Brian came up, I needed one more guy, and Brian was the last one to come in, and he was begging and saying, I really need this, and I said no. And then I asked about the people that knew him, and they said don't do it, and he pushed, and I said no, I don't need a criminal out there. I was bad enough. I don't want to hide my wallet every night. And anyway, he begged, said it was going to be different this time, and he had a bad leg and a bad arm, and he got hurt in an accident and needed a new chance. But he really knew how to do tile, and some other things. And I was thinking, man, I need a tile guy. Anyway, he begged and begged, and I let him come.
Oh, I'm super stoked. I've been stoked since I heard about this, and I found out I was on the crew. I couldn't get enough of it. It's definitely it's a blessing. Yeah, it's a blessing.
And then there was Jake. Jake came out because he was taken under the wing of Christian, our producer, and he was kind of helping him out because he came from a broken home, and mom had drug problems and that sort of thing, and which doesn't, prevent us from having our own problems just because we see them. We got down to the end, and I had said no to some other guys, and I said, Christian, I need a cameraman. We need a cameraman. He goes, well, what about this young guy? I said, well, he's not an alcoholic, and he's not an addict, and he's too young. And he said, well, he can use the same tools that we have, and he needs some brothering and fathering while we're there. So I said, all right, bring him on. I met the kid, good heart, seemed well-meaning, and then so we came out. And it's kind of like the Native Americans, when they used to get a certain kind of wood and they'd heat it up in the fire, put it in the water, and then they'd bend it. And then you'd heat it up in the fire and you put it in the water, and then you bend it some more. Little by little, this thing all of a sudden has a curve to it, and it's a different shape. And it takes a while for people to change, and it's a methodology, So we brought out Jake, and we put him in a fire, and we put a little water on him and started to bend it.
So how does your mom feel about you coming out here?
She didn't really say much about it. She thought it was cool. I don't know. She never really gives too much input on my life. I think that the main thing that's really happening right now for me is anger and confusion. I've kind of told myself that I'm okay with it, and then I'm not okay with it. But then when I realize that it's still there, and it's still affecting me, and it still bothers me, and I cannot move past it. And it's I want to hate her, every day. you know, and I sometimes do. I really want to move past that, so I'm hoping that, you know, I can learn understanding from this trip.
Day 2, leaving St. Louis, and by all perspective, this is a success. We were only asked to buy drugs twice, so, and on this side of St. Louis, that's usually a good thing. So, but the really good thing is that nobody bought any, and here we are, getting ready to start out on the second day of the adventure. Everybody's hanging in.
It was a beautiful day, the sun beat down. I had the radio on, I was driving. Trees went by, me and Dell were singing Little Runaway. I was flying, running down a dream. Never would come to me, working on a mystery. Going where.
Oh my God, what a find, what treasures. Only here could you find these signs. Check it out. And it's perfect stuff for the bunker. Is that not awesome? Metal. And then this is for going down the basement, which you'll let, you know, we try to keep people out of, you know. And then, where else in the world are you going to be able to buy these? Which is perfect. Love it, love it. And a few more odds and ends, so anyway. Atomic paraphernalia, Armageddon, whatever you want to call it. But here we go. We're going to keep the train moving, going to the Badlands, doing the Badlands loop. And it's a crazy spot here. Within 4 miles of here, there was a control center that controlled 1,000 missiles, nuclear missiles pointed at Russia. And they could be set off at any given time. 1,000, just from here. Nuts. Anyway, glad those days are over. And I survived the Cold War. Woo!
I rolled on, sky grew dark. I put the pedal down to make some time. Something good waiting down this road. I'm picking up whatever is mine. Yeah, I'm running down a dream that never would have come to me. Working on a mystery, going wherever it leads. I'm running down a dream.
Never seen anything like this in my life.
Did you think that you'd be here a little while ago when you were in the recovery center a week ago? I mean,
Hell
like
no.
3 weeks ago?
No.
You're like, yeah, I'm going to be traveling across the country.
Yeah, I thought I'd be just going straight up there to work and just, see a new state. Never did I imagine I would have kicked off like this. In my wildest dreams, I've never done anything closely remote to this. And this is a lifetime experience. I might never get to do this again.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
opening that mind up, where you can actually accept some change, the way that we think, the way that we accept things, the way that we look at the world,
Absolutely.
So,
American Samoa is that one.
It's gorgeous.
yeah.
It's definitely a life-changing experience.
And it reminds us just how small we are. Not that we're worth nothing, but we're pretty small. So. So this is the decontamination chamber that was here. What do you think?
Oh, this is cool. How you doing?
This is Warren.
I have no idea.
Warren's actually only 24 years old. He just wintered here this year, and it aged him that bad. So, but Warren, I've known Warren for 25 years since we got sober together as youngsters.
Good stuff.
And he's been through it all, and he's in his sort of semi-retirement year, so he works from here. He works remotely from here, so he stayed here all winter.
How was the winter?
They have something here y'all don't have called winter.
Yeah, I'm from Florida, so.
Oh, well, I don't know. What's winter?
The white stuff? Yeah. No, winter's 70 degrees.
No.
Windy.
No, not here.
And there's another room in there that, what you can grab. Here's your weight set. All this has got to be cleaned up and lights put on.
Let's see this one.
But that's usually Reed's room. That's why I said, but we're going to shift stuff around. No doors are open at night because just wipe it all down. Wipe it down. And so if you do, and we come in here, the guns, there's 2 sawed-off shotguns. There'll be bullets next to them if you need them, if anything's in here. We've had all kinds of stuff come through the doors. If you leave it open and there's food in here, they're not afraid to come in. So.
Shotguns? Yeah, no, fake ones.
Oh, great.
So. You do not shoot the skunk.
Just gonna
You be quiet and you go the other way till he leaves. You leave the doors open, throw some bread outside and that kind of stuff.
When we get
the
outside,
wild dogs, blast them.
Yeah?
So,
Yeah.
any cub or anything like that,
What if I'm mistaken a dog for the...
if the dog,
skunk?
shoot them.
What if it,
No, there'll be some dogs coming here. If they're nice dogs, leave them alone. There's the big dog that comes in here all the time, the neighbors.
Okay. You just
So-
got loaded, or we're gonna have to like fumble?
No. There's shells next to it.
All right, where's it
So,
located?
but just close the doors when we leave because it gets to smell like food. It's hanging on the thing. You'll see. There's 2 of them. Don't touch the other one. Touch this. Use this one.
Okay.
That's Dale's room. All these rooms are coming down anyway.
Yeah.
So these are all temporary rooms.
If y'all need the password, just let me know and bring $5 with you, $5 bill with you, and we'll get you hooked right up.
Are you doing a Storehouse? It's capital Y. You're never leaving.
Yeah. Here for the duration.
You're here for you're never going back above ground. You're in the bunker for good, baby.
Montana Society.